There is a hidden current beneath the surface of all things, a thread that connects ancient temples, forgotten scriptures, dying stars, and the silence between your thoughts. It has been whispered for millennia by sages, buried in symbols, guarded by initiates, and one woman dared to bring it into the light, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Not as a prophet, not as a guru, but as a vessel, a fierce, controversial, brilliant woman who claimed to have received knowledge from hidden masters beyond the Himalayas. Her mission, to reveal the secret doctrine, a single wisdom that underlies every religion, every mystery school, every sacred text ever written. She didn't invent it. She said she merely translated it, from Sanskrit, from Egyptian hieroglyphs, from star maps older than time. And what she revealed was this: there is no true separation between spirit and matter, between God and humanity, between past and future. All is one. All is consciousness. All is evolving through cycles so vast they make human history seem like a single breath. This is not mysticism as fantasy. This is cosmology as initiation. Blavatsky taught that the universe is alive, intelligent, and self-aware, unfolding through 7 great root races, each representing a stage in the awakening of divine consciousness within matter. We are now in the 5th, the Aryan race, not in the racist sense distorted by history, but as a spiritual phase where reason, individuality, and self-awareness emerge. But we are approaching the 6th, where intuition, unity, and heart-knowing will dominate. You can feel it, can't you? The old structures collapsing, religions, governments, identities, not because they failed, but because they've served their cycle. What's coming is not chaos. It is coherence, a return to the original harmony, not through escape, but through embodiment. Blavatsky's work, especially in The Secret Doctrine and Isis Unveiled, is dense, complex, often cryptic. But at its core lies a simple, devastating truth. You are not a soul trapped in matter. You are spirit becoming matter, on purpose, to remember itself. Like an actor playing the role of amnesia to rediscover who they truly are. This is Leela, the divine play, and you are both the player and the game. The first revelation is this: everything is symbolic. For Blavatsky, no myth is just a story. No ritual is just tradition. Every god, every temple, every constellation is a coded message about the inner journey of the soul. When the Egyptians built pyramids aligned with Orion's belt, they weren't worshiping stars. They were mapping the path of ascension. When Hindus speak of Vishnu dreaming the universe, they aren't describing mythology. They're explaining quantum reality, consciousness as the ground of being. Blavatsky called this the perennial philosophy, a single truth expressed in infinite forms. Christianity, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Druidism, all are fragments of one whole, distorted over time by dogma, politics, fear. She insisted, do not believe. Investigate. Question. Remember. Because truth is not found in books, but in direct experience. She herself traveled across continents, India, Tibet, Egypt, Greece, claiming to have studied with adepts who preserved knowledge lost to the world. Whether you believe her or not, one thing is undeniable. Her synthesis reshaped esoteric thought forever. She introduced the West to karma, reincarnation, chakras, astral planes, concepts now common, but then radical. And she did it not to create another religion, but to dissolve them all into one science of the soul. One of her most powerful teachings is the law of correspondences. As above, so below, as within, so without. This isn't poetry. It's a law of resonance. Your body reflects the cosmos. Your cells mirror solar systems. Your mind echoes the mind of God. So if you want to know the universe, look within. If you want to transform your life, align with cosmic rhythms. She taught that time is not linear but cyclical, composed of Mahayugas, great ages that rise and fall like breath. We are nearing the end of Kali Yuga, the dark age of ignorance, conflict, and materialism. But after darkness comes dawn. The next Yuga, Satya Yuga is one of truth, peace, and unity consciousness. And those who awaken now are not just surviving the shift, they are leading it. There is a profound implication here. Evolution is not random, it is guided. Consciousness expands according to a divine plan, encoded in nature, in geometry, in sound, in vibration. The ancients knew this. They built megaliths not just as monuments, but as resonant chambers to amplify spiritual energy. They used mantras not as prayers but as sonic keys to unlock higher states. Blavatsky believed that sacred languages like Sanskrit carry inherent power. Their sounds vibrate at frequencies that awaken dormant centers in the brain and spine. This is why she emphasized studying ancient texts not just intellectually but experientially, chanting, meditating, living the symbols until they become alive within. One modern parallel: quantum physics now confirms that particles communicate instantly across space, what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. Blavatsky described this 150 years ago as the law of unity. Nothing is truly separate. Every atom knows the state of every other. This is not coincidence, it is design. And if the universe is interconnected at the subatomic level, how much more are minds, souls, destinies entangled? She warned against materialism, the belief that only what can be measured is real. That, she said, is the greatest illusion of Kali Yuga. True science for her must include consciousness. Without it, knowledge is incomplete. The second phase is self-initiation. Blavatsky didn't believe in gurus who hand enlightenment to followers. She believed in the divine spark within every human, what she called the Atman, the higher self, the reincarnating ego. You don't need permission to awaken. You only need courage. In her view, all suffering, all challenges, all crises are initiations, disguised messages from the soul saying, "Wake up, remember, return." Most people see pain as punishment, but for Blavatsky, it was purification, a fire that burns away illusions so essence can shine. She herself lived this. Born into Russian aristocracy, she rejected privilege, defied gender norms, survived assassination attempts, chronic illness, and exile, all while writing thousands of pages of metaphysical insight. She wasn't teaching from theory, she was teaching from battle, and her message was clear. The path is hard because it must be. If it were easy, everyone would walk it. But only those ready to die to the false self can enter the temple of truth. Initiation for her wasn't a ceremony. It was a series of inner deaths, to pride, to fear, to attachment, to identity. Each crisis, a broken relationship, a loss, a failure, is a doorway. Walk through it not with resistance, but with surrender. Ask, what part of me must die so the real can live? That question alone can begin the alchemy. She taught that the soul evolves not in one lifetime but across many, accumulating wisdom, balancing karma, refining consciousness. Death is not an end. It is a transition, like changing clothes after a long journey. And between lives, the soul rests in devachan, a state of blissful reflection, before returning to learn the lessons it still carries. This removes fear. It transforms existence from a desperate struggle into a sacred pilgrimage. You are not here to suffer. You are here to remember. And every life is another chapter in the same eternal story. A powerful exercise she encouraged. Nightly reflection. Before sleep, sit in silence and ask, where did I act from the lower self today? Where did I express the higher self? Not with judgment, but with awareness. Over time, patterns emerge. You begin to see your karmic loops, the tendencies that keep repeating. And once seen, they can be transformed. She also spoke of the Marn, threefold path. Devotion, knowledge, and service, not as separate roads, but as three legs of one stool. Without devotion, knowledge becomes cold intellect. Without knowledge, devotion becomes blind faith. Without service, both become self-centered. True initiation happens when all three are balanced. This is the path of the Bodhisattva, one who delays final liberation to help others awaken. Blavatsky saw herself not as a master, but as a guide, a fellow traveler who had walked ahead and turned back to offer a hand. The third level is the veil of Maya. Blavatsky insisted that the world you perceive is not real, not in the ultimate sense. It is Maya, illusion. Not because it doesn't exist, but because it's a shadow of a deeper reality. Like a dream seems real while you're in it, but vanishes upon waking, so too will this world dissolve when consciousness awakens. She described 3 levels of reality: the objective, what we see; the subjective, the astral and mental planes; and the spiritual, pure being. Most people live trapped in the first, mistaking shadows for substance. Mystics, yogis, and true seekers penetrate the second, where thoughts shape form and emotions become energy. But only the fully awakened touch the third, where there is no self, no other, no time, only pure awareness. This is nirvana, moksha, union with the one life. And it is accessible. But to reach it, you must stop identifying with the temporary. Your body is not you. Your emotions are not you. Your thoughts are not you. You are the witness behind them, the silent observer that remains unchanged through every experience. This is the I Am consciousness, the spark of divinity within. Blavatsky warned against false spirituality, rituals without understanding, mantras without meaning, beliefs without investigation. True wisdom, she said, comes from direct knowing, not borrowed faith. She encouraged practices like meditation, study of sacred texts, ethical living, and service, not as dogma, but as tools to purify the vehicle of the soul. The body, mind, and emotions are instruments. Tune them and you can hear the music of the spheres. Ignore them, and you remain deaf to eternity. She also spoke of the Great White Brotherhood, a hidden network of enlightened beings who guide humanity's evolution from behind the scenes. Whether literal or symbolic, the idea serves a purpose. You are not alone. There is intelligence behind the universe, and it supports those who seek truth. Another key concept: the law of karma. Not as punishment, but as balance. Every action, thought, and intention creates a ripple. You are not punished for your sins. You are corrected by them. Karma ensures that every soul eventually learns every lesson: compassion, responsibility, unity, not through external judgment but through experience. This means no one escapes their choices. But also, no one is condemned. All are redeemable. All are evolving. Even the cruelest tyrant will one day become a Buddha, not because he is forgiven, but because he finally understands. This is the deepest mercy. Time is infinite, and consciousness always wins. The fourth step is becoming the light. Blavatsky didn't teach salvation through belief. She taught liberation through Chantu, self-realization. You are not waiting for a Messiah. You are the Messiah in training. The final goal is not heaven, but merging with the Absolute. Not as annihilation, but as full remembering. Like a drop of water falling into the ocean, it doesn't cease to exist. It realizes it was ocean all along. This is the culmination of the soul's journey, from unconscious divinity to separation to conscious reunion. And it is happening now, not in some distant future, but in the present moment, for those ready to see. She challenged her students to live as if they were already awakened, to act with compassion, think with clarity, speak with truth, because behavior shapes being. If you act as light, you become light. If you speak as love, you embody love. There is no gap between practice and realization, only consistency. One of her most radical ideas was that humanity is a collective soul. Not just individuals evolving, but a single consciousness expressing through billions of forms. Like waves on the same ocean, we appear separate, but we share the same depth. This means your awakening affects everyone. Your healing ripples across the field. Your light helps others wake. So the spiritual path is not selfish. It is the highest service. When you transform yourself, you transform the world, not through force, not through preaching, but through resonance. Blavatsky's legacy is not in organizations or titles. It is in the quiet revolution happening inside millions who read her words and felt something ancient stir. She didn't give answers. She gave a map, and the journey is yours to walk. She often quoted the ancient maxim, "As ye make fires to dissipate the darkness, so shall ye kindle the light of the wisdom religion within you." This light is not intellectual, it is transformative. It burns away illusion, clarifies perception, and aligns you with the rhythm of the cosmos. To walk this path is to accept responsibility, not just for your own awakening, but for the awakening of all. She believed that a new race of humans is emerging, not biologically, but spiritually, capable of perceiving higher dimensions, communicating telepathically, living in harmony with nature and each other. These are not fantasies. They are potentials hidden in our DNA, activated by consciousness. And they are becoming visible now, in children with deep empathy, in scientists discovering non-local mind, in artists channeling archetypal visions. The veil is thinning. The old world resists, but the new cannot be stopped. Now the climax. Imagine standing at the edge of a great library, shelves stretching into infinity, filled with books in languages you've never seen. A voice says, "All of this is inside you." You open a book. It contains your entire life, past, present, future. You open another. It shows lives you've lived before. Another. It reveals lives you will live. And then you realize, you are not reading the library. You are the library. Every story, every soul, every star, part of one consciousness dreaming itself awake. This is what Blavatsky knew. This is what she tried to tell us. You are not small. You are not limited. You are not insignificant. You are a spark of the eternal flame, here to remember, to awaken, to return. And the moment you stop searching outside and turn within, the veil begins to thin. Not because you earned it, because you chose to see. So here's your invitation. For the next 7 days, choose one ancient symbol, the Ouroboros, the lotus, the Ankh, the flower of life, and meditate on it daily. Let it sink beyond thought. Ask, what does this say about me? Don't seek answers, just stay with the mystery, and watch how your perception begins to shift, not because you changed the world, but because you stopped seeing it through the eyes of illusion.